Thanks for having me in your home.
I first checked out how tall you are.
Okay.
Stand up for a moment. Let them see you. Now sit down.
Okay.
When I saw how tall you are, I said, okay, I'll talk to that guy. That's not the reason. I watched you on television, and you are very good, so I will talk to you.
We're here with you because of your work and your expertise, and you've also always been someone who helps people deal with difficult things. We've had a difficult time, especially when you look at the work of this organization, with loneliness and separation in this past year. So what's on your mind as we come out of this?
Okay. First of all, I love that you said as we come out of it. It's true that we have had a difficult year. It is true that we have a lot of lonely people. I know a lot about that because I have now been a widow for many years. And this particular year was very difficult for everybody. Younger people, older people, couples that suddenly were together 24 hours a day. But my function in life, even now, at the age of almost 93, is to tell people, yes, very difficult. Loneliness is difficult, it hurts, but let's not dwell on it. I'm the right person to say, let's be positive. Because I'm saying, after my background, which people know, which you know, after my background, I'm a perfect example of terrible things having happened. Being an orphan at the age of 10 and a half, being badly wounded in the Haganah in Israel on both legs. Look how positive I am, because I can see the good things in life.
We have a lot of people who can better understand a physical challenge than this kind, whatever you call it, social, personal, emotional. You say, oh, your legs are hurt, they get healed, we move on.
Right.
How do we heal and find the positive from the unseen isolation and loneliness, which has health and other consequences, in which many people, older people especially, feel that can be one of the harder parts of their life, worse than some physical challenges?
Very good question. Here is my advice. When you talk to people, think before you take the phone and find something positive. Don't negate that we all had a difficult time. That loneliness actually physically hurts. And now let's think, what could you do? Pick up the phone, call somebody that you have not talked to, and find something positive. It doesn't matter what. Find something positive that you can talk about. Everybody who is now vaccinated, I'm vaccinated. Are you vaccinated?
I am.
All right.
There we go.
We actually can kiss.
We could kiss.
Maybe at the end of the of the interview. Because if I talk to somebody and they only tell me about the misery, that they couldn't go out, they couldn't see the grandchildren, big misery, I will listen, and then I'm going to say, and now where do we go from here? Dr. Ruth's expertise is the positive. If you want to complain, I give you 3 names of psychiatrists. Go to them.
What's the best way for people to rekindle friendships or contact with people they've fallen out of touch with, or find new friends and social connections? Because that's also part of this work. We have isolation to begin with, plus what we are coming out of.
So the first thing, take a deep breath. Promise Dr. Ruth and Ari that you're not going to complain. You're going to say one sentence, how horrible this year was, and you go on from there. And you find something positive. You have to find kind of a hook that is positive. Now, if a DOROT person calls you, make sure you say, thank you for calling me. When can you call me again? That shows that I'm interested in you. That shows I want you, DOROT, to call me again. And then make sure you prepare something. As if you prepare a cup of tea or coffee, you prepare something of interest to that other person.
I like that. Well, I like also the way you put it, because we think about etiquette like it's good to be hospitable. So if you have someone over, you think about putting out tea or coffee or cookies. what you're talking about is a more important social etiquette of keeping in mind how do you offer them something that gives them something to engage on.
Right.
And how do you look forward to the next time to show your interest, which comes very naturally to some people. You're a firecracker. But
and not so natural to
and
others.
not so natural to others.
But you can practice that.
Yeah.
In front of a mirror. Ari, stand with all your, how tall are you? 6 feet?
6.
Oh my gosh, you're tall. I'm 4'7". I lost half an inch. Ari, you are 6 feet tall. Stand in front of a mirror and practice something positive. But do accept in your mind that other people might have more serious problems. For example, health problems. Mm-hmm. What is it that you can do for that person by visiting on the phone? By visiting Zoom is a brilliant measure. This Zoom should be blessed. We should say a bracha. A bracha means a blessing.
Sure.
Over Zoom. And you know what I believe? Zoom is here to stay. I believe that. Especially for people who are home, who are lonely. Make sure you learn how to use it, or that you get somebody to use it for you.
I have a question about your independent mind and sex. It would seem that the world broadly has moved more towards your approach, that you were ahead of the curve. Is that fair to say?
Yes, say it again.
You were right.
I said, not only that, I said the importance of good sexual functioning in all of my books, and the importance of relationships.
So my question to you is, if we want to learn from this big picture, what were your habits of mind or independence that allowed you to transcend or not be held down by the way other people in the field or in the culture in general talked about these things, by stigma, embarrassment? And now we have a world that looks, in some ways, closer to a Dr. Ruth approach, but it wasn't always that way. What were your habits of mind or your way that you could be so independent?
Because, Ari, for Jews, sex was never a sin. It was always something to be engaged in by a husband and a wife. I make it a little broader, a husband, a man and a woman, or two men, or two women. All of those new variations included. That I became like Dr. Ruth, it has to do with chutzpah. Chutzpah means nerve. I was in the building where you work, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, 10 years, every Sunday night, on nationwide radio, that then became international, talking about these things. And I was never embarrassed to talk about it. When somebody said, shouldn't talk about that, I said, turn your dial, go to another station. Don't listen to me. That worked very well. They all listened to me. DOROT, whoever is going to give some money for this gala, I promise you good sex for the rest of your life.
You know, sometimes at these dinners, people stop listening a little bit. I think everyone's listening again now.
With me, they don't stop listening. Maybe with you, not with me.
Well, definitely with me. They go to commercials, they flip around. Before we end, I propose we do a lightning round. So I give you a question or a word, and you answer in a word or a sentence. So we
That
go.
will never work with me.
It doesn't work with you, but we try.
Because I always will answer in paragraphs.
Well, and that's people are consuming them. In a word or a sentence, 2020 was
2020?
the year.
The year 2020.
The year
You have to
2020.
say the year.
You're right.
Otherwise, I'm thinking of a television program.
The year, this past year, 2020 was.
Horrible.
2021 will be.
Fantastic. First of all, you and I, you have to promise on television right now, you and I are going to be friends. This is not an encounter of once DOROT, give money, and then you will have good sex. That's one thing.
That's one thing, yeah.
But this is a friendship from now on.
Okay.
Done.
Also, well, wait,
Like
we'll do
this?
one,
Okay,
and then
one.
I'll shake your
And
hand.
then
We'll do both.
okay.
Continue. You were saying.
Okay, so very important to say, not to negate the terrible thing, because everybody had people who died. And we have to acknowledge that. Look, I know that very well. I was an orphan at the age of 10 and a half when I was sent to Switzerland. Otherwise, I wouldn't be alive. I'm grateful. So the one thing is to be grateful to be alive. If you are religious, be grateful and pray. If you are not religious, be grateful anyhow. Give it respect and move on.
Move forward.
Move on.
You have children books now.
Yes, this is for older children. I talk about taking 2 of my 4 grandchildren to an amusement park. They can go on the ride and I'm too short. So I'm using humor, the idea which is important for DOROT. Everybody has worth. Now I have to show you one more children's book. Leopold. I believe in the image of the turtle. I have a lot of turtles here.
I noticed that. I saw, and there's a turtle
There's a
footstool.
A giant.
Yeah.
A turtle, if it sticks its neck out, it can move. If it stays in one place, it doesn't move.
You like the turtle as an allegory.
Yes.
For our
Now,
emotional baseline.
Careful. During the time of the virus, I did not talk about this book because I don't want people to take risks.
Right.
Today, you are vaccinated, I'm vaccinated. Stick your neck out to take a risk, because this way you move forward.
I love that. In that spirit, Dr. Ruth, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of
right.
you.
Wonderful.
DOROT, give money because the organization needs you. Shalom.
Shalom.
That's a wrap.